Celtics are going to get a major boost to their roster tonight when Jayson Tatum returns for the first time since tearing that Achilles in the playoffs last season. Tatum, less than 10 months removed from tearing the Achilles, the six-time All-Star will return tonight for the C's at home when they face the Mavericks. Here's Stephen A. on Tatum's return.
Seriously speaking, all joking aside, because I got a lot of love for Jayson Tatum. Great guy, great player. I'm worried. When KD was out with his Achilles tear, he was gone for more than 500 days. Jayson Tatum just got hurt in Game 4 last year against the New York Knicks in the Eastern Conference Semifinals playoffs. He hasn't even been out a year yet. I'm a bit nervous for him, in all seriousness, because I don't want him to get hurt again. And I don't think that it's necessary to rush him back when you consider the fact that Boston is 20 games over 500, the top 2 seed in the Eastern Conference.
So just for some clarity on days here, it has been 288 days since he tore his Achilles. Obviously, that is a very short amount of time. And yes, no, it is not close to a year. He has definitely sped up the process, I think, more than any of us can fathom. With that being said, what are the expectations for Jayson Tatum tonight, Canty?
Oh, my expectations is that they're going to give Jayson Tatum ample opportunity for a ramp up. They're not going to rush him. There's going to be a minutes restriction. So I'm not going to jump out of the window with what I see from Tatum, good or bad, tonight. What I want to see is making sure that all of the role players, everybody that's slotted into their respective role in making this team what they've been this season, continues to play at that high level, even with the presence of Jayson Tatum on this roster. Now, I'm always been a proponent of great players and great coaches will find a way to figure it out. And so I don't expect anything to be different with the Boston Celtics, with Mazzulla and Jaylen Brown and Derek White and Peyton Pritchard adding Jayson Tatum back. But that's the thing that I want to see, making sure that the role players, guys like Kata and Vucevic and those players feel comfortable with the presence of Jayson Tatum now that they know minutes and rotations are going to be affected and things are going to feel a little bit differently.
Yeah, but I think that's going to be a seamless transition. Like, Jayson Tatum is under no preconceived notion here that he's going to come in there and put up 25 shots and be the leader of this team. I don't think there's an expectation for him to do this at any point for the rest of the season. Jayson Tatum is coming onto this roster with the understanding that they have a real deal shot at a championship. And what he is going to do is his best to get them to that championship. If we're in this position come playoff time where Jayson Tatum feels like I got to be Kobe, I got to take over for this squad, then you got a real big problem. But I don't see that with Jayson Tatum. I don't see that with Joe Mazzulla. I don't see that with Jaylen Brown. You are getting a really good role player added on to a top 3 off.
Remember the Jayson Tatum that was at the Olympics and didn't understand why LeBron James and Kevin Durant were playing in front of him, right? And he had a trouble adjusting to not being the guy. And I know it's a different situation when you're coming off of injury and you have to slow ramp that way. And I give him a lot of credit, guys, for going through. Like, rehab is hard. You talk to a player about rehab, and he will tell you those days are lonely. So I can imagine how internally motivated he had to be to get to this point. So I don't want to gloss over that. But Kevin Durant is the template. We don't even remember or talk about Kevin Durant and his Achilles injury in the 2019 NBA Finals because he's come back and been such a great player since. He almost took 2 full years off. And I know Jayson Tatum is a lot younger, maybe a couple years younger than what Kevin Durant was. But I do think that Jayson Tatum wants to come back in and show that he's Jayson Tatum, to show that he's still that guy. Like, I don't think there's any expectation that he's going to walk in and just say, you know what, I'm going to be a defender and a rebounder and a spot-up shooter, which would be absolutely great if that was. But I think we have to be careful about anointing the Celtics at this point. And here's the last point I'll make. This is the year 1 of a $314 million extension with Jayson Tatum and the Celtics. This is year 2 of a $285 million extension between Jaylen Brown. They have to play all of this like this is a long-term investment and not something short-term. I don't think he's going to injure his Achilles again, but I think it's going to take a minute before we see Jayson Tatum be Jayson Tatum again.
I forgot that they put that graphic up that Kobe Bryant came back a similar time frame to what Jayson Tatum is doing. But anyways, do you think Tatum should come off the bench tonight? I mean,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't. Yeah, he should definitely come off the bench. He's just ramping up. This is what ramping up looks like. And the difference between the Kevin Durant situation, Kevin Durant was coming back to be the guy. on the team and carry that load. When Kevin Durant came back, you think about the Milwaukee Bucks playoff series and all the stuff he did, playing 48 minutes and all that stuff. Jayson Tatum is not going to do that for a very long time. If there are about 25 other teams in this league, if you said a guy was coming back fewer than 300 days from a torn Achilles, I'd be really worried about it. The Boston Celtics is not that organization. I think they understand if you get a guy that can give me 15 points a game, maybe, good defense, role player on this team, we can win a championship, and everybody should be on the same page with that.
Double D, completely agree with you. And VG, the point you made about the financials with the two superstar players for the Celtics is what gives me confidence that this is the right move, because they know what's at stake, and they're not going to put Jayson Tatum in harm's way. The only question that I have is Jayson Tatum, from a mentality standpoint, ready to deal with going through the rigors, the bumps, the bangs of this type of basketball as we get down to the stretch run of the regular season.
You're going into March. That's the heaviest month of the season.
But that's my point. Yeah. Is he going to be prepared for that? Is he going to be able to adjust to that? Is he going to be able to get over the psychological hurdle that every professional athlete goes through when they're coming back from a catastrophic injury? That's the part that we don't know the answer to the question of. We don't know whether or not, from a mentality standpoint, he's able to get past the point where he realizes that this Achilles is something that I can trust, that my body is something that I can trust, that I can go out and play the game free like I've always done my entire life. That is going to be the biggest challenge for the Boston Celtics, Jayson Tatum overcoming that aspect.
I get it now. Y'all two wearing green, being so positive about the Celtics today. I see the synergy. I get it. I respect it.
What do you think? What do you think his impact should be tonight? You think he should come off the bench? What do you think? How many minutes?
I think he should. I think you play around 15 or 20 minutes. Like the adrenaline of a first game, I think sets the tone, right? But a lot of times a player comes back in the first game and he plays over his head, and then you come back down to earth after that. He's going to be home, national TV game, ESPN's going to be there. He's going to be so amped up, or as amped up as a player like Jayson Tatum can be. But he's been looking forward to this since the day he got hurt, since he had the surgery. I hope someone is there to keep things level.
I'm sure there will be. Heck of a ticket tonight. You get to see Jayson Tatum return and Cooper Flagg.
Hello.
Hello. What are the prices for those tickets right now?
Cooper Flagg tonight, too, baby. He's in homecoming.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Main event.
Coming up here on First Take, Luka got another tech last night. Guess what he was doing? Arguing with the refs again in a loss for the Lakers to the Nuggets. We have a take about Doncic that you absolutely need to hear. Plus, DJ Moore traded from the Bears to the Bills.